All right, great. It's 7. So let's get this ball rolling. Um so the first thing I wanted to talk about was just a couple plays for the week. Um and what volume profile allows me to do, right? So you guys know that I send out this watch list. And all of my actions are based off of volume profile, every single one of them. The only ones that will not be based off volume profile is like news plays because news trumps technical analysis. But if I want you to go back and look at this watch list and see where and why I was picking up what I was picking up, um, because it's very telling to how to use volume profile. Okay, I I haven't gone through, but I think every single one of these was a winner this week. Um, So just know that this is what volume profile will allow you to do. It'll allow you to read the charts correctly. Then you just have to learn to control your emotions. Ira, you haven't seen the watch list? Yeah. So Efren's he's sending it via email. Um, yeah, not right. So let's get this show rolling, guys. I know it's tough to be here. The market's open. I'm itching to play the market as well, but I've committed to do this for you guys, so let's do it. Volume profile is my favorite indicator. I'm actually going to move this chat over here. Uh, Carmen and Efren, if you guys are available to, I know you're trading and stuff. Can you take notes of questions as well? I'm gonna have the chat up, but thank you, Carmen. Um, all right, so this is my biggest edge, and when I say it's my biggest edge, it's what I use the most. And every single one of my edges includes volume profile, including the squeeze plays. John Carter's TTM squeeze plays are combined with volume profile. So what we're going to cover is what is volume profile, how to set up volume profile. Somebody just asked that on about TOS. Some common terms used for volume profile, examples of using volume profile, and then we're going to change it to common terms I use. All right. So I don't use all the quote unquote technical terms because I didn't learn from a pro about volume profile. Nobody at my mentoring service was teaching volume profile. So I just was practicing with it and learned it myself. All right, so what is volume profile? This is the definition. It's kind of wordy and confusing, but it says volume profile is an advanced charting study that displays trading activity over a specific time period at specified price levels. So the study, accounting for user are defined parameters such as number of rows and time period, right? So if it's 25 cents, 50 cents, whatever it is, it plots a histogram on the chart meant to reveal dominant and or significant price levels based on volume. So essentially volume profile takes the total volume traded at specific price levels during the specified time period. So whatever you're showing on your screen, and then divides the total volume into buy or sell volume and then makes that information easily visible to the trader. So that's complicated, right? Well, I like to keep it simple. So let's understand volume profile. Volume profile to me is just understanding. It's just showing me where people have bought and sold, right? That's it. This gives me the cost basis for the majority of equity holders, right? I want to know what your cost basis is because you're the person I'm playing against. If I know what your cost basis is, I know how most humans will react to the price action. So my whole purpose with volume profile is playing other people. That's my whole purpose, guys. Um, Understand where other people are and how they are going to react. Human psychology tells us what most humans will do in most situations. So How many of us have been in a situation where you buy and it's like it's going to the moon, it turns into a loser, and then you're just like, "Dad gummit, just let me get out of this break even. Just let me get out of this break even, please." So we all do it, right? If you bought at a certain level before and made money, and then it comes back down to that level, what are you going to do? Well, you'll probably buy. So let me show you an example from my watch list this week. Very simple. So AMD, I want to show you on the watch list, show you that it's there, right? Okay, this was the watch list, right? And what did I say? As it has dropped into the 90 range. So what am I doing, right? I just keep buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. So let's jump back to the PowerPoint. Now that you know it's there, I'm just going to show you the chart. Okay. Hey, I wanted to try something. Efren, are you available? Um, I can you put in a poll for me? So I just wanted to see if we could do this via. All right, it's in faculty. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. All of my advanced volume profile traders, I hope you get it right. It's not letting me copy paste, Efren. So why was I picking 90, guys? Why was I picking 90? And according to volume profile, what is this called? Okay. So here, let me put this poll in. So I'm just going to put the acronyms as well. See how well. If you don't know what it is, don't feel like you have to put it in, put in an answer. But I just want to see what we get on this poll. All right. And so what I'm asking, guys, I just sent a poll out, is what is this line and this green arrow representing? All right, let's see what we get on the responses. So we've got we got a race. We got a race on. We got number 1 and number 2. All right, let me see who's okay. Oh, we're getting a fight here. All right. All right. So nice. Okay. All right. So good. This is going to help a lot of people. This course we're about to take here. Yeah, that's let me post these results here. So I'm not going to tell you the answer. What we're going to do is we're going to go through, and then we can take it again at the end, and let's see how much has changed. By the way, I hope you guys crushed this trade, right? Look what it did right here. You see how it just dipped right into it? Boom. And off we go, right? So there's a couple ways that I play volume profile with AMD. I am selling calls. I sold this week's calls and some of next week's calls uh, to take profits, right? So that's kind of how I play it. And when it comes down into here, I'll buy directional calls and or uh, puts. Okay. So example of VP right there and human psychology. All right. So why do we use technical analysis, guys? It creates certain chart patterns. And why do we see these same chart patterns over and over? It's because it's simple human behavior that creates these patterns. These patterns are made based off of volume profile because most humans behave pretty much the same in a given situation. So VP works across all time frames. I don't care if you're using 1 minute. I don't care if you're using monthly, weekly, daily. It's going to work across all time frames. What you have to do, and I could show you an example of this later, is you take the full chart, right, and then you kind of zoom in onto your plan and what you want to play. So I'll give you an example of this towards the end. Now, different platforms, it's the same idea. You guys, I see I've been discussing Toss, right? So Toss, Anant, I think, has shared his grid with it, and he is the Toss king for volume profile. He's got it understood. And Anant, if there's anything you want to say on Toss, you feel free to jump in here. On TC2000, if you guys have it, it's my main charting software. And all you do is you just right click on the chart and it'll say add plot and then type volume at price and it pulls it up. Okay. Volume at price and volume profile, it's the same thing. On E-Trade, it's my main trading platform. You just click studies right here and then click volume profile. Okay. Any questions on how to get this set up? Throw them in there. So after you put in volume profile, what's going to happen is you're going to start having these little side bars over here, right? This one you can see it's not colored. I don't care if it's red or green. I just need to know the people. This one's red or green, right? Well, that's just telling you the buyers and sellers. To me, that doesn't really matter. And up here is another one, right? This one has the technical terms labeled in it. So this is what your chart will begin to look like. So are you watching the screen, Celia? The eternal screen here. Do you see my screen? Do you see in this top left-hand corner, right above chat? This is where you can you should see alerts. So right above that poll question here, yeah, there you go. It's right there. It's Toss Grid. Got it? Perfect. All right. All right. So now if your chart looks like this, these are your VP levels. Okay. Now let's go through just some common terms. Everybody can see my screen still. Nick D, your screen is blocking. Everybody see it? We still good? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So HVN, these are common terms, right? So we've got a value area. In most platforms, you can set up a value area, and all it does is take in 70% of the range of the price. So it'll put on, you see this VAH and this VAL, this is your value area high, value area low, right? So you can change that to 75 to 80 to 50. You can change it to whatever you want it to be, but you can see on mine, on my I don't even use it. I don't care about value areas. It doesn't make any difference to me. I want to know where people are. Now you've got HVN, okay, this areas of high volume, right? It's called high volume nodes. This is the longer bars, right? So the longer bars are high volume nodes. You got LVN, this is areas of low volume. So this is just the shorter bars, okay? And then you've got POC, which is the highest volume node. It's your point of control, okay? That's what that's saying. And then you've got value area high, which is the highest price level in value area. So if you look over here, right here, this is the value area high. And then you've got value area low. This is the lowest price level in the value area. And then gaps equals the space in between the HVNs, and I forgot to put in LVNs. Oh, no. This is, yeah, so that's right. Space in between the HVNs. So your LVNs would be included in that gap. You often hear me say it, I call it air, right? So let's just pull back on AMD here for a minute and I'll show you an example of that. So on AMD, do you guys see this green line that I've got right here? Well, this is what I call a gap, or I call it air. And it is because of this area right here. So you guys see there's not a lot of volume profile in this area, right? So what that means is if we were to break these levels, we're probably going to come down, not probably, like 99% chance, we're going to come down and we're going to hit at least this area. Why this area? Because this area is the top side, or the value area high, of the last range, right? Value area. So we're probably going to at least come down there and test that. That's why I'm selling puts into that area. And then hopefully we'll get a bounce, right? So that's just a example of how to use this and these terms. All right. So now let's look at AMD and see if we can get the correct answer. Okay. Everybody understand all of these terms? Efren, can you put that exact same poll in, the one that I put in? Can you go ahead and do that? And I'm just going to keep talking. Thank you. So we're going to do that poll, and I want you guys to pay attention. So 52% of you said point of control. 30% said value area low. 19% said low volume node, right? And 0% said FVA, because I just made that up. Good job. So put that poll in again, and I want you guys to tell me what would this be considered, right? This area here. Okay. All right. Oh no. I put the answer up on accident. Did you not? Did you put LV in? Technically, that could be an answer, right? That could, the low volume nodes are value area lows, right? So uh, that's funny. All right, let's see those results, Efren. Let's see what we got. All right, so we still got 38% saying low volume node, which I didn't even think about, and Anant put it in. Yeah, technically this is a low volume node, right? So that is correct. What I am looking for though was simply value area low. right? And the reason this is value area low is because here is your bulk, right? This is your bulk of traders, right? And where 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 is your point of control? Here, I'm going to put a number. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Just for these candles on the, I mean, just for these on the side. Which one's your point of control out of 1 through 5? Yeah, 3, right? 3 is your point of control, right? So value area high, value area low. Okay. Now, do you guys remember I put on Twitter? Let me when AMD was running here, right here. Does anybody remember what I put on Twitter? So what I put was 96 is my level, right? 96 is my level. And why did I say 96? Why am I saying 96 is my level? That's right. It's value area high, right? Okay, so let's go through and make sure we understand how to use volume profile. Okay. So VPVR stands for volume profile, volume range. Okay, this is a typical use of volume profile. People say, hey, it likes to pull to point of control because that's where people find it to have fair value. People are willing to buy it at the point of control. And so if you look over here at this chart, you can see the point of control is this red line here, right? So we drop below this red line and buyers at the bottom of the profile or volume area low start to buy it up. They bring it back to point of control. Point of control becomes a pivot point. It gets over it and then it goes to value area high and then comes back down to point of control. Okay. So this is an example of exactly what we've been doing with AMD. So let's go through my terms. Again, I taught myself VP through just real life experience and trading. Um, I didn't even actually Google search volume profile because I didn't realize that it was that great of a tool because nobody taught me from my mentors. Just nobody uses it. And so as I was looking through, some of the different tools that were offered by these platforms, I began to understand what this was. So here, I'm going to go through kind of my terms and what the technical term is, I guess would be the best thing to say. Uh, so here, now this is HVN, right? This is a high volume node. So I call this a pivot point. This is, you'll hear me oftentimes, I'll say this is a pivot point on the chart. The reason it's a pivot point, guys, is because it's a long, high volume node and there's a lot of people there. So if you're coming up to it and there's a long bar here, you'll probably get some kind of rejection, maybe like that, or it rejects and goes down, right? So that's your pivot point. If it breaks above this pivot point, then your pivot point is now below you. And when we're coming down, this is your pivot point. This is a retest buy, right? If it breaks, it's going to keep going down further to the next high volume node or pivot point. Okay. So you'll hear me say, hey, pivot point here on the chart. The other one is low value node. So I'll say that these are minor pivot points. So sometimes you'll see on charts that the bars will look like this, and then it'll come down and then you'll have a smaller one, but they're bigger than the other ones. And so I'll say, hey, here's a little minor pivot point until it comes up to the point of control. Um, and this is where I'll start kind of averaging in, right? So you'll hear me say minor pivot point. Value area high. That's just simply your last resistance. And then value area low is your last support. So just like I showed you on AMD on the chart, if AMD were to break that level, that's your last support until you go into the next value area, right? You'll hit that value area high where your minor pivot points are, okay? Now, the gaps here, I call it air. There's just air. There's no buyers and sellers. Point of control, what I call this is your main support and your main resistance. So this is your main pivot point. You get over this, and you'll see it. You'll see it on charts, like, and you guys know, volume profile changes as we trade, right? So Amazon, do you guys see how I've got this red line here? This red line, I haven't updated it this week, but this red line was for quite some time the main. You can see how it kind of respected this red line here, finally broke, came back over here, broke above, finally retested, bounced again, and now we're coming down. So we're probably, your value area or your main pivot point's probably actually a little bit lower now, with this. So that's what I'm just call your main pivot point. Got it. Okay. Thank you. So now we get to other terms that I use. I'll say, hey, need to increase VP levels. What that means is just to chew, shuffle, and get legs, right? You'll hear me say that, right? This thing needs to chew a little bit. This thing needs to shuffle. It needs to get some legs. So again, another example would be AMD. So if AMD were to break down to this level, what does that mean? That means we have to chew through all these people, right? We're gonna have to chew through. So what does that mean? We're gonna have to get some legs. And by getting legs, we're gonna have to get some volume profile bars in here built up to chew through these people. And the shuffle, all the shuffle means, all you're doing when you're doing that is people that are trapped are selling to new traders that have a lower cost basis, right? So you're just shuffling shares. You're bringing owners from cost bases up here to up there to down here. Was that better, Efren? Was the screen up with me? Okay, perfect. All right. Now retest, right? All we're doing on a retest is we're back testing a pivot point. I think you guys understand retest by now. Now, when it's under point of control, I call this trapped longs. When it's over point of control, it's trapped shorts. Now, the other term that I use is upside down L, and this is simply trapped longs. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, do you guys see, can you guys see this upside down L we've got going on here? Is that pretty visible to everybody? Jim, what I mean by trapped is you're in red, right? So if you're long, let's just say, I'll give you an example. If you bought right here and your cost basis is $18.50 and the stock is now $15, you're trapped. You're underwater, right? So you're losing money. That's what that means. Now, let's say right here, if you were to short right here at $14 and the stock goes up to $19, well, now you're trapped, right? The short's trapped because the stock's up here. Okay. So that's what trapped means. Does that answer your question for you? Now, Do you guys see the time? Just look at the time. This is why it's so important for volume profile. So from basically 9 to 10, so we've got 1 hour of time frame here, right? That created this volume profile. And then we've got from this point until this point, what is that, 3 hours? And so if you weren't looking at volume profile, you'd be like, well, maybe all these trap traders have shuffled and they've built a little base down here. But we can see via volume profile, we don't have to guess. Look at what's going to happen if this comes back up to 17. If this comes back up to VWAP, what do you think all these people are going to do? They're going to be like, "Oh, thank you Jesus, thank you, whomever you pray to, and sell," right? They're gonna get out, and that's what creates that downward pressure. All right. So that's an example of an upside down L. Now, here's the terminology that I use comes into place. I'll say, hey, if we can chew and get some legs, like if these volume profile bars can come out to here and kind of balance it out, well, that's showing me that we've shuffled, right? We've shuffled enough that we could actually get a little push and get some legs. Now, this one's a little bit more visible, but I wanted to show you a little bit about this one, right? This is AMC. Can you guys see this L? See how much more visible it is? But where are we on the price? So if I were to ask you to use those terms, where are we price-wise? Yes, Doc got it. So price-wise right now, we are at value area low. So this would be a good shot to take, hey, you know what? Maybe we bounce off here back to point of control because your risk reward is so great, right? So we take a shot here, but we stop out if we break, because if we break, what's going to happen? Well, we're going to go way far down. Now, this was pre-market. I'm just putting this in here because it's a good example. So that's the upside down L. I get questions on that a lot as well. So I hope that makes sense. Now, I'm going to try and play a video. It's a video. Anant says that it helped him to trigger understanding volume profile a little bit better, and how to understand it, I guess, is the best way. So here, let me see if I can play this video. Eric, I use volume profile all the time, and this video, Eric, if I can get it to play, is going to answer that question and how to use volume profile via pre. All right, we're good. Okay, good. Now, guys, that was the presentation. We can do some Q&A now and go through any questions that you have. Yes, Efren, jump on the mic for me, and we'll go through some of the questions. And Nobez, yeah, this is being recorded, brother.
All right.
Oh yeah. One quick thing. Let me this. I told you I was going to do this, and I haven't done it. So let me do that. I'm gonna have to switch screens on you. How many candles? You know, how do you know which VP to use? Again, like I said in the beginning, you always go far out, right? So this is how I'll start, right? I'm looking back from 2018, okay? I'm like, okay, boom, here we go. Here's the volume profile. Now, does it matter to me that this volume profile down here at 30, if this drops to 30, this isn't in play. This really isn't in play, right? So I'm just zooming in to see, okay, well, what's in play? For me, what's in play is this right here was Intel saying that they're going to delay 7nm again, and then this is AMD's ER beat, and so Okay, now this is where I start to get interested. This is where I want to pay attention to where people are. So I'll zoom in to that level, and then I start highlighting volume profile areas. So you can see here, we're just going to take it, and you can see these volume profile areas, and all you have to do, so we can sit here and we can mark this up, not even looking at the chart. So we can see where people are. We don't even need the chart. All we need is volume profile, right? So we start marking things up. We start saying, you know what? Let's figure out where some levels are, right? So now I've got kind of the overall picture of where these levels are, and then I want to zoom in on what I'm playing, right? What I'm looking at. I'm looking at, if this breaks below this level, we're going to come down here and test this 87 range, right? Remember, this is the 90 level that I keep saying buy. Now, I want to see, hey, let's see I want to see where these people are right here. So in order to see these people, what do I need to do? Well, when you pull back the plot capacity, you're going to be able to see I've got to figure out where all of these people are and these people, right? That's what we're figuring out. That's all we're doing on this volume profile. So all you do on that is you just zoom in. Now, TOS is a little different. It's not as user friendly when it comes to volume profile, because it's not I think the word is dynamic. It's static. Uh, Efren, you use TradingView, right?
Yes.
That one's TradingView is very, very, very user friendly for volume profile. It's comparable. It's probably my second favorite after Thinkorswim. I'm sorry, after TC2000. So look, the people that I wanted to kind of go in and zoom in at, figure out where people are, they're up here, right? It's these people and these people. I'm not as interested in, these, because I mean, that's not a lot of volume there. So let's zoom in all the way onto these people. So now we can say, here's our point of control, right? So here, let's just set up a play, guys. Let's set up a play for this week and next week. Right here. If we pull back to this level, right? And if you want to play it to the safe side, you just move this to right here. If we pull back to here, guys, this is called a retest. Okay? That's all this is. It's a retest. I'm going to be buying here. Okay? Playing this point of control. That's as simple as it gets. Retest, boom. I just zoomed in on where we are. And so what are we creating technical analysis wise right here? Well, look, guys, it's very simple. All of these people right here that are trapped, right? All of this, guess what they're doing? They're selling into this, right? Everybody thinks this is a fair price to sell. And so it's bam, one top, two top. So for this to stay bullish, what do we need to see? Technical analysis says trip tops never were. So if we go 1, 2, retest, 3, go, right? That's what I'm looking for. And then we're going to be able to eclipse this. Then that's when the 100's on deck and I'm happy, right? So 9211 is the bottom side of this point of control, right? I don't know if it's going to get there, guys. So again, this is a trade plan is so important. You can't buy and sell because of a P&L. You have to trade per the chart. So here, I'll set up a play. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start averaging in, right? I'm going to start averaging in probably around 93. So right here at this blue line, do you see this VP level? Kind of it's starting right here, right? So we're going to get, see how this VP level is getting bigger and bigger because we're getting trading up here, right? So one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to get the retest and then shuffle, right? Or we're going to be able to break through and hit this one and then shuffle, right? So one of these is most likely going to happen. For me, I'm playing, if it pulls back to the 93 range, I'm a buyer, okay? I'm a buyer at the 93 range for this retest. I'm gonna start averaging in, but I'm gonna leave room to add all the way down to this 92 level, okay? So it's not a one shot, you know, hey, I'm going to bet up my whole account right here. It's just average in, play it small, leave room to manage the trade. All right, so that's what I said I was going to do. Let's turn it over to Efren so he can ask the questions.
All right, so we have about 10 minutes, so maybe we'll do a little bit of almost rapid fire.
Perfect.
Celia is asking, oh, sorry, Anant already answered that. King David is asking, can POC and HVN be the same thing, or am I missing something?
So yes, POC is an HVN. So there will never be a time where the POC will not be the HVN, but there will be a time where you'll have HVNs that will not be the POC. And an example of that right here is AMD. This is a high volume node, but this is not the point of control for this area that we're playing. This is the point of control, and it is an HVN. All right, next question.
So the bars for volume profile from right to left are the number of shares sold at those prices.
Yes, so again, this is taking the amount of shares sold per the price. Now watch, let me show you. I know they're kind of blurry. We're still working on some resolution here on the screen, but you see on my right side, I've got some numbers. They're 25 cents apart. So what this is showing me is per 25 cents. For me to change that, and you can change this in your settings, now they're 50 cents apart. So you can see how the volume profile changes. Now they're $1 apart, right? So all it's doing is it's showing you in between these levels the amount of volume that's gone through at these levels price wise. Yep. Next question.
Nick is asking for your net setup. So would net setup short for you once it shuffles?
Net setup?
Yeah, NETE.
So like, oh, netty. Oh, okay. So you're talking about on the presentation. So yeah, so that chart was old. Anytime that you're, for me, anytime that you're coming into a upside down L and you're coming into that L range, yes, that's a short. Because what you're doing is those people, at least the first time, they're going to sell. The second time is your double top, right? So you're still probably going to get some sellers. Well, the third time, the reason trip tops never were is because you've shuffled at that point. You've shuffled and you've allowed people to get from trapped traders to do traders and human psychology. Now everybody's kind of at the break even point and people aren't selling into it. All right, next question.
Cool. Eric is asking if you use VP pre-market or do you wait until the open?
Yeah, Eric, I use VP all the time. And that video kind of explains, that video we played and the link that I just posted up there, it explains it, that how to use VP. Because not as much volume is traded in the mornings, in pre-market, your volume profile changes really quick in the first 5 minutes, really first couple minutes. And yes, Joyce,
Cool.
we are going to have watch list session this weekend.
Doc is asking, how many candles do you use for your volume profile? In futures trading, people like to use 100 bars.
Yeah, so I think I just answered that. So it just depends on your play, right? Everybody's different about what they're playing. If you're playing a yearly chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, daily chart, 1 minute chart, you need to go back. So like on AMD, how many bars did I use? I used this all the way back here, right, to 2018. And ultimately, I don't care about these people down here because I'm not playing these people. I'm playing these people up here. So I just zoomed in to where I wanted to be, and that's how many bars I use. So simple answer is whatever chart time frame you're playing is what you need to use. But you always need to go back and see where the overall picture is telling us, what the overall picture is telling us, right? Because I'll be playing a 1 minute chart, but I'll have these lines in. So like for AMD, I'll have these lines in that are drawn, and it will be there for me to know, hey, these are levels on a bigger time frame, even though I'm only playing a 1 minute chart.
Cool. Eric is saying, Donald, it seems you always wait for a retest.
Yeah, I don't always do it, to be honest with you. I don't always wait for a retest. I'll give you an example. Per the watch list that we had this week, so Shockwave Medical was it was a 2-player for me, right? And so you, for me, when you're buying breakouts, if there's nobody above you, right? If you're breaking out to new all-time highs, then who's going to sell into you, right? So this is what the chart was looking like. So this was a TPS play. So I bought it off the 8, but it was also from the university of the training mentorship that we have with the 10, 12 people in there. Cajun Cat, she told us, hey, this is an ICB play. If this breaks this week's high, it's going to go. So do you see how I've got this 105.08? So on Shockwave Medical, I bought the 8 EMA right here on Monday, but then I actually just bought this breakout. I didn't even wait for a retest. I don't even know if it retested. But the reason that I did is because there was nothing above. So you see how it didn't come all the way back in on it, right? It came back a little bit, but it didn't come all the way back in on Shockwave. And the reason that is because there's nobody above us at this point. Zero. Nobody's selling into it, right? All you have is profit takers. All right. Let's see. Let's go a couple more questions.
Yep. Krish is asking, how did you decide the pivot point?
Pivot point's always decided by the longest bars, right? Your high volume nodes. That's it. That's all pivot points are. High volume nodes. And yes, I do use it for Tesla.
Sylvia was asking just a clarification on your trip tops. Did you say on average trip tops will fail or trip tops will break out?
So there's a saying in the market that trip tops never were. What that means is if you knock on the door once, it doesn't open, knock on the door twice, it doesn't open, knock on the door the third time, you're going to get through. So they usually break to the top side. That's what trip tops are. Same for trip bottoms. You flip the chart upside down, and it's the same thing. Trip tops, you'll break that floor, and you'll get through. And yeah, I pair VP with all my edges. So TTM, yes, absolutely, Brian. So I'm gonna take over a little bit since we only got 1 minute left. Guys, I wanted to kind of announce something here. This is the first time we're announcing this, and I know a lot of people have said, hey, are you going to start a service? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Are you going to be a guru in Raging Bull? Well, you guys know why I couldn't sign the documents and why I couldn't do what Raging Bull wanted me to do. Now you understand why I couldn't do it. They have a different vision than I do. I am about educating people and not alerting people. I want to teach you how to fish. I'm not going to fish for you. And let me give you an example. Just today, of somebody asked what is the ICB play. Well, the ICB play is a play that was taught to us by someone in our trading university, right? Mentorship program. So let me see if I can find something real quick for her. So she is learning a new edge. She is learning what is called earnings plays, right? So I want to show you something that she said. Um, I don't know if you can read this right here. It's small. It might be blurry, but it says, "Hey, just for learning purposes, I see on the Excel sheet, right, which is my earning sheet, that if MU comes into the 83.96 range, we should short." Look what MU did. I did not tell her to do this. She did it, right? She read it. I didn't alert, "Hey, I'm short at 84. Everybody chase me. Everybody jump in if you want to make some money and run it down and do what I'm doing so I can take profits." She did this on her own. That's what trading is. It's not an alert service. So, with that said, yeah, it was perfect, Brandy, right? With that said, that's my goal. My goal is to teach you how to trade, not to have you chase my alerts. And so, what we're going to do is we're actually going to open up a room where we're going to have the watch list sessions. We're going to have me in there chatting with you guys, going through things, doing things, telling you my ideas, giving you education. And so it's going to be open for anybody and everybody. And it's not going to be, I'm not going to say, "Hey guys, you got 15 minutes to sign up and you got to pay me $10,000 and then you're a lifetime member." I'm not going to do any of that. All it's going to be is, hey, if you want to be a part of this, great. There's going to be like a monthly charge to pay for this website, to pay for all of these things, to pay uh, for the cost, right? But it's going to be a month to month thing. If you want to be a part of it, great, be a part of it. If you don't, I don't care. But I can promise you this, from just watching what people are paying for other services, I don't want to say any names. It's just ridiculous what you guys are paying for education that is free, that is already free out there. And I'll show you where that is, and then I'll teach you. And so we're going to be starting this. Yeah, Jim, there's a link to the spreadsheet in the watch list. Every time we send out a watch list, there's a link to that spreadsheet. So we're going to be starting this really soon. Probably, I would guess within the next week or two. But we'll send out more details on it. We're just waiting for some legal stuff. Um, Anant, are you still in here, Anant? I don't know if Anant's still in here, if he wants to talk about price or not. Efren, what are your thoughts on it? Like, I don't care if we tell them. Yeah, we're still deciding. So, like, what we're trying to figure out, guys, honestly, like, this site takes, right, what we're using right now, that takes money for us to run. And we're just trying to figure out the cost for everything. Because it's not going to be, you know, super, super expensive, because I want to, it's about teaching you guys. I make my money from trading. I don't need a service to make money from. Um, and in fact, to be quite frank with you, the people that I'm mentoring, uh, all the money that was given to me from their mentorship, I haven't even touched. It's just sitting in an account, because honestly, I'm just waiting to. I'm going to give it to a charity once this is all said and done. We're just going to give it to charity. I don't need the money. Um, it's actually making me lose money. It's making my trading harder. But you know what it does? For those that don't know, Anant, I took Anant underneath my wing. People like Anant are the reason I do this. The reason I help people is Anant. Anant is the reason I help people. Anant took the ball and he took off and he went with it. And me and Anant are going to be best friends for the rest of our lives. We will be 70 years old, sitting in a retirement home with our monitors up, going, "Hey, the spy just broke low." You know, by that point, we can probably just say what we want. We don't even have to click buttons. So that's why I do it. I don't do it for the money. I don't need the money. I had money before I even started trading. That's why trading was easier for me. Um, so anyway, we'll get that info out as soon as possible. All right, guys. Let's give it one more minute. I'm reading the chat. Any other last questions before we jump off? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Cats. We're gonna have a trading room. Yeah, I can, Phil. Yeah, let me put a list together for you, Phil. Here, I'm gonna write that down. Uh, And I'll tell you one right off the bat that really so Phil, list of books. Something that really helps. So my favorite my favorite edges or I should say indicators. My favorite indicators are volume profile and volume. So volume profile and volume. Now there's a book, and I don't want to share this link with you, but you can search this. You can just search for it. It's yeah, let's I gotta make sure I'm doing everything the legal the legal way, right? Yeah, what is it? What's the question? Oh, I got you. Okay. So here, I'm just gonna type this in to the Phil for you. All right. So it's a complete guide to volume price analysis, right? Um, this book helps you to understand what's going on with volume, how important volume is. Um, so if you haven't read this book, I would encourage you to do so. It's a great book. Okay. Um, you said it was Ben. If RB comes back, do you plan on hanging out there too? Uh, Ben, I honestly can't answer that question. Uh, so the way that I live my life, Ben, and the way that I trade, I can only control what I can control, right? So I'm not in control of that, and I'm living in the present. I'm living in the present right now, right? If they come back and they're able to do what they do, I'll make that decision then. But I there I don't I'm not even thinking about that because I'm thinking about now. And that's one of the things I've learned in life, guys. Just life tip: live in the now. You know, my kids' moments, I'm living with them now. I'm not angry at my wife at what she did last night. I'm living now. I love her, right? Live in the now. All right. Did I miss any other questions? What What was that, Efren? Gotcha. YOLO, YOLO. Yeah. All right, guys. So again, guys, thanks to Efren and thanks to Danger Girl. They come in, they help me take notes, they help me keep up with everybody so I can stay on track. Really appreciate everybody's help. Um, and for everybody, there's going to be a watch list session this weekend. And I mean, I think I'm 100% for my last watch list. I haven't gone over it, but each one of them worked. Yeah, emails with the details will be coming in the next couple hours. And guys, just if you're not getting emails, some of our emails are going to promotion on Gmail and some of them are going to spam. So you've got to mark them as important and then they'll start coming to your regular inbox. All right, guys, y'all have a great day. And we're going to shut down the room now and talk to you guys soon.